Hello, sweet friend. My name is Micah, and in this video, I would like to journal with you. I would like to create another weekly spread in my Hobonichi Cousin. I've done something similar not too long ago, and I had so much fun creating this overview of the week and having your company while doing so that I figured, why not do it again? Because I still can't seem to keep up with the logging that I've been wanting to do in the weekly pages, and I'm like, why not just do the thing that is fun, right? So yeah, here we are. And I thought it would be nice to have your company again and yeah, just stick some things on paper together. So first of all, the things that I want to sort of block in first are these photos. This is the photo I took for a thumbnail for last week's YouTube video, actually. I did some updates to my TN, to my Traveler's Notebook, and I covered these inserts, and I just like all the colors on this photo, so I figured why not stick that in. And then the other photos that I have are from a breakfast. My husband and I went out to breakfast, and these are those sandwiches. I maybe could have printed them out a little bigger. They're pretty tiny. So this is a lovely avocado toast, and this was a bagel with smoked salmon and arugula. They were both very, very yummy. I'm very much a friend of breakfast food. I love me a good sandwich. I think I measured them to fit in these columns, which is kind of nice, but now that I know sort of what I want to feature in this week's spread, I think I could have gone a little bigger. I think we're going to have plenty space, but that's all right. So I don't know, we went out on Tuesday. I'm not sure if they're going to land over here somewhere, but maybe we can also kind of like set them like this a little bit so that the photos have like a nice flowy feel to them. In layouts, you can think of similar objects, whether they're similar because, for example, these are all photos, or maybe objects with similar colors. It's always nice when they have a little bit of a flow to them on the page, so to stagger things. For example, instead of doing this, which is sort of indicating or creating this almost like an invisible line that makes things feel pretty static. So it's kind of nice to, yeah, create something with a little bit more movement to it. Or I could do this. Obviously we associate breakfast with the morning, but not that I'm really paying attention to the timeline on these. So I guess it doesn't matter. So we'll find a space for these, and I think I'm going to put my sketchbook underneath here to even out the pages a little bit. Yeah, I think that works all right. So we have those, and then something else that might take up a little bit more space is I had both a call with my sister and my niece, as well as with my brother. They did happen on different days, but what I'm thinking was to maybe use one of these beautiful frame pieces from Erin Ware's printables, and use those to just create a box. This wouldn't be nice with all the greens in there, like that, and then just kind of bundle the phone calls together. And then I do have, in my trusty sticker album, I do have, these are all cats from my printable collections on Cat Collage Club. I do have these cats with the phone. This is currently my favorite indicator of a phone call. That's pretty big. And that pink goes with that pink. So I figured I could put this in once and then have both calls on, journal about both calls on here. That's kind of a neat idea, don't you think? Instead of having both, because it ultimately doesn't really matter when the calls happened during the week, you know? Ooh, I like how all these colors go together. Wow, that is very, got lucky there. And then could do something like that. I think I'll do that. I think I'll commit to that right away because that's such a big piece. That'll really determine a lot about the layout of the entire spread. I think that's already kind of nice. Yeah, okay. Let's do that. So that I don't have to hold the the big sticker this whole time. And did I print this on sticker paper? I think I did. Sometimes it's hard to tell. I have this sticker paper that feels like regular copy paper. It's just sticky backed, and so sometimes that's a little hard to feel whether or not. Sometimes with these, especially with these journaling spots or journaling cards, I sometimes just print them on regular paper to make them more easily written on. Was that grammatically correct? I'm not sure. Okay, putting this in here, and then we can put in the cute little tiny cats. And it's kind of fun how the wire of the phone has a similar shape language to it, like these scallops that Erin did. It's kind of fun. There's all kinds of serendipitous... Oh, do I want to tuck that underneath there? Maybe. Maybe I can hold that up and not fully stick that down just yet. Because this Tomoe River paper in my book will not let you lift things back up. It is very, very sticky. Once you stick something down, you're never gonna move it again. Okay, so then we can put these in. No, oh, okay. Okay. Because I think it kind of would be nice if these were just a little bit connected. Like so. And then we can put this one up there. That's nice. All right, getting somewhere, getting somewhere. How is your journaling going? Are you keeping up? Are you making changes? Are things still evolving? And then we're putting this down here. Yeah, I really like that green with the pink. It feels very fresh, but also earthy in a way. So then maybe I'll put this here. Yeah. Do I commit to that also already? Or maybe sometimes I like to, or oftentimes, I like to layer washi tape underneath a photo. I think that's pretty. And it's an easy way to bring in some patterns. And I do love some patterns. I also have this little tin. These are, again, Erin Ware designs. There might not... Oh. I just saw something that I thought might work. I mean, these look really springy. Oh, you can't see the beautiful design. Blue and green, light blue and green. Yeah, this might be nice, at least somewhere on the spread. I don't know if I want to put that underneath the photo. Ooh, there's more green here with some like wildflowers and butterflies. Let's pull those out. Those might work. And then we'll see how, yeah, that might be nice. We could use that somewhere else potentially. We'll see about that. And then I do also like layering washi over washi. So we could bring either one of these in. Maybe I'll put this one on first, and then, because this one isn't see-through, this is just printed on regular sticker paper. A little hard to layer that over top of a... And then bring in maybe these orange flowers. I think you're not going to see very much of the flowers underneath there, so maybe this grid washi. If I can get this loose here. Is it spring already where you live? Do you see the first couple flowers coming out and Here, at least in my neighborhood, we have a lot of flowering trees right now, which is beautiful. Where we lived last year, there were tons of flowering trees as well, and yeah, it's just gorgeous. I don't think I've ever been that aware of flowering trees, which is kind of nice. I think this is a little long. Like so, maybe. I'm sticking that little bit that I just ripped off. I'm sticking those on my table. I have a little washi tape graveyard over there. Yeah, okay, let's put that down. Have that in there, and then we have something to respond to. Gotta start somewhere, right? Okay. All right. And then here I also bought, I don't know, I can show you. I bought a new charm for my traveler's notebook, this tiger's eye charm. So maybe I can draw the charm a little bit bigger over here and write about that. That could be cute. And then I also got some new Tombow markers. Maybe I'll just swatch them out right here. I think the colors still go with the spread. Yeah, why not? That tells you how much is going on in my life if part of the memory keeping is just keeping track of new Tombow markers I bought. But that's okay. I'm just working on some projects and really just focusing on those, so there's just a lot of time drawing. So there's that. This is 620. I do like the colors that I picked out. These are nice and light. I've been finding that even though I like a good saturated deep color, it's harder to work with line work and then color in with these darker colors. If that makes sense. 942. And so I've been slowly growing my collection of colors that are a little bit lighter. This brown, for example, this is great because it has a little bit of depth to it, but it's not going to overwhelm line work. 977. If you don't draw, this might be very esoteric detail, but. And then this is almost like a Tiffany blue, maybe a little lighter than Tiffany blue. 291. Yeah, in writing you can barely see it. Yeah, you can't even see it on the thing. Okay. This is already sort of like the most broadest things from last week. I mean, obviously I'll come in with some journaling, but maybe I can add some lettering. Maybe that would help. I also went grocery shopping. Maybe I'll put in, actually, just having this laying open on my sticker book. She has a little bag here. She could be grocery shopping, and she kind of goes with our color scheme here. And it is kind of funny how I went grocery shopping, and then there's one grocery store that is right next to a Michael's, so a craft store. And so I've been treating myself because it's the last store I have to go to when I do like a big grocery run. So I have several spots to hit up on a route. And so that one is the last one. It's a Kroger. And so it's a little bit like, okay, I've done my due diligence, or I've done my duty in going grocery shopping. And then it's sometimes fun to hop into Michael's. I mean, you know, they don't have all that much that I'm interested in, but they do have the Tombow markers. So yeah, this was a case of, I did my big grocery run, and so I treated myself to some markers kind of thing. So I think that would be nice to have the cat. Well, now I've talked so much about the photos kind of leaving this trail, and now I've done the kind of cats next to each other, but you know, it's okay. I think I've mentioned last time too that I'm not necessarily aiming for perfection here. I'm just having fun. And if we can make it beautiful, then that's great. But, you know. I also just saw this sticker sheet lying on my desk. This is Mindwave with these cute foxes. And because we went out to breakfast, I wondered. But that's all like already having pancake or donuts on there. So that's maybe a little tricky to pair with this. I thought it might just be nice. But maybe we can just use some of these flowers. The foxes. Just start adding some other things in here to build it out. And then here's like my husband did have coffee with this too. So we have this little coffee pot. And then I think there's some, yeah, here's a little mug. Oh wow, this is tiny. I still have yet to buy myself a set of tweezers for these smaller stickers. Well, now I'm not sure if I like the fox right here. Yep, okay. Stay in there though. Like I said, this year's sticker paper is not sticker paper. This year's Tomoe River paper is very sticky, sticky, sticky. Okay, so maybe I can start out with also drawing the little tiger's eye charm. And we'll just put that right here. So it has this, it's basically just a circle with the inset stone. I bought that at Michael's too. It's kind of interesting. I was just browsing through the aisles because I was also looking for whether or not they had some dollhouse furniture, like smaller things like that. And so I just happened to go through the bead aisle because it looked all shiny and fun. And this one really spoke to me because of the color, and this specific stone in particular had such a pretty coloring. And then when I came home and put it on my traveler's notebook, I looked up sort of what tiger's eye, what the meaning is and stuff. And it really goes well with traveler's notebook and journaling because it's all about being confident in yourself and sort of speaking up, not speaking up, but really pursuing what makes you you. I think I'm very much paraphrasing here, but yeah, that's kind of what was happening there. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of coloring there, and then maybe I can add something here because on my phone call with my sister, my niece was so cute. Yeah, I wish I hadn't put this there because it would be kind of fun to have a speech bubble come out of the, maybe I can get it off really, really carefully, really slowly. Don't rip it. Yeah, okay. And then I'll put that to the side for now. She called me auntie for the first time, at least like to my face. That sounds like it's a horrible thing. It's not. But I'm German, and my side of the family is all German. But I live in the US with my husband. So that's a little bit of context if you're new around here. And so it's really cute that my sister is teaching my niece to still call me auntie because I live in the US. And I think auntie as a word is so much cuter than the German Tante, which means aunt. And so, yeah, that's been just so sweet to have her call me auntie. And have her sweet little voice say that. It's just so cute. And I think I've I think I've had another journal spread somewhere, and I think I've shared that before, but when you FaceTime with my niece, who's a little bit over 2, she shows you her stuffed animal collection, which is just, I mean, it's the sweetest thing. So she's all excited, like, auntie, auntie, and then is showing me her, yeah, all her stuffed animal friends, which I'm totally here for. Okay, I could have maybe written that a little smaller. Can you even see the pencil lines? Somewhat. I hope you don't mind not seeing that just yet, and that you're okay with me just chatting to you about those things. Yeah, I really didn't plan the stickers very well here. Maybe I should have waited. That's the thing with putting in the quote-unquote big things first and then filling in the smaller things later. And then here I definitely want to keep this space to talk about breakfast. And then here we can talk about the traveler's notebook. Yeah, maybe we can add some of this up here, or down here might be nice. Up there. Maybe I'll just put that there and then feel it out. I wonder if there's anything else what would I want to write about here? Our neighbors got a new dog, and I was playing with him in the backyard a little bit. The question is, do I know how to draw him? I draw a lot of cats, of course. And even though I love dogs, I don't draw dogs all that often. So this is going to be very stylized. And it's this thing where if you don't, you think you know how something looks until you draw that thing. And I do think he has like black around his eyes. See, that's the kind of stuff that then is really uncertain. I can zoom you in a little bit so you can see a little bit of the dog. There, that's what I have so far. So he has these cute triangular ears, so maybe we do that. I think that's really difficult about dogs. It's like how to draw those ears and how to connect them to the skull. Maybe I don't know, something like that. Yeah, and I didn't take a picture of him because I don't know if that's weird. If you ask your neighbors if you can take a picture of their dog for your journal, or just in general. Wouldn't even have to be for the journal. Yes, this really sweet, smaller nose. I mean, yeah, maybe. And then here would be the collar, and then what do we want to do? Standing him up, but that doesn't really fit. Maybe he can sit, but having his head and... So here would be the collar. And if you've been around for a while, I'm definitely not somebody who draws a lot of things realistically. A lot of my drawings are very shape-based, so we can just embrace that right here too, because I don't know the anatomy of a dog sitting. Like, that's not something I would be drawing just from memory. Maybe that works. His head might seem a little big, and his eyes need to be further down. Yeah, maybe his skull needs to be shorter. I hope you're enjoying this kind of company. And I know not everybody draws in their journal, so I'm not sure how inspiring this is, but I know that, for example, Mina from Minapomelo, she has some journal with me videos where she's drawing, and I just think it's nice company, and I like seeing other people draw. Okay, and then this would be sort of to indicate that that's dark. I could also put in the other eye, like so. Do it like that. Oh, that is cute. And then have the nose come up here. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. And then I'm not sure. I think I want his tail to be shorter. I feel like that's, I need a different eraser. Yeah. Whoops, because he's 10 months old, so he's pretty small still, and his entire frame is really like compact. I think they said he's a collie mix. They got him from the animal shelter. I think I'm pretty happy with this depiction of him. So something fun again with the shape base and not being fully realistic is you can almost like break the perspective a little bit with having both eyes still on here, but then the nose still goes in the front like that, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's very cute, because this kind of like slimmer shape for the eye coloring, I think that's more accurate. And then I think he has like a black spot right here, and then he might have some on his legs too, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just leave it blank, and then whenever I see him again, I confirm what that is. And then maybe we do some lettering for the TN update, to have some more lettering up here to fill this space more, because I don't think I'm gonna write all that much. So maybe we can just go in with some, I think I'm just going really simple lettering here, not something that takes too long to sketch in. Do you have multiple ways of lettering that you do? Some that take longer than others, and one that's sort of like your go-to? And then I guess updates wouldn't fit in anymore with these kind of block letters. Sorry for the weird cut. My camera turns off after 30 minutes of filming, and I didn't realize I had been filming for 30 minutes. So, what I was saying was that I'm gonna just write out updates in this sort of script, because doing it all in the bold letters is not gonna fit here. And then, yeah, maybe we can go in and use the topo markers for some other things in the spread. I was thinking maybe I can do this lettering with that. I have to say that though I got pretty lucky overall with the paper that is in my book, the markers are the things that bleed through the quickest. And let's see, usually I don't like writing with Tomo markers. I think the nib is too long and too soft for writing like this, but maybe just doing this right here is okay. Just going around like that, and then we can fill it with a color. Yeah, maybe just keep it simple and do the beige. Like that. color that in. And then for the updates, let's just use this. I often forget that they have this other tip at the other end. Updates. Just really simple. I never learned. I know some people can do such nice script work in their planners and journals. I don't, but that's okay. And then I think to section off this topic and fill it out even more, maybe we can do another frame. I did that last time too. Uh-oh, something's sticking together. This right here with the colored pencils. Oh, can you see? Yeah, this right here is just a frame like that. That's kind of fun. Again, brings just more color into the space, so maybe we can do a little bit of that here. Last time I used colored pencils, but again, since we already have the Tomo markers lined up, and maybe I can bring in like another pink and a green. I actually don't have like a olive green, warm green. So I have this green, which that should go well with this. Yeah, okay. And then still unsure about that right there. So, but maybe we do the same sort of like scribbly frame that I did last time, because I like them and they are inspired by something that Erin Ware does often. I did not invent this. And then leave space for the charm right there. Maybe go around here, like so, and then connect that. Oh, and then, yeah, we're gonna have green both at the top, but that's okay. I guess it's a little nicer to do that with colored pencils because you can have the colors blend into each other more, but oh well. And then let's start drawing the charm. And do I just go for a black line for both the charm and our neighbor's dog? I could do that. And I also have a brown inked in here, which looks pretty. This is not waterproof ink, so I would have to think about how to color the drawings. Do I want to keep adding watercolor? Yeah, let's just go black for now. I think it's just a little... If I can't decide, maybe go with the more versatile thing of the two. You know? Yeah, that looks like nothing. Tiger's Eye is probably really pretty to try in watercolor. And the sparklies, do they need outlines? Maybe. Just to bring some contrast. Okay, and then what about our doggy? And then I'm gonna maybe have some space here to write about my grocery trip. Do I just outline him? Or do him just full on shapes with Tomo markers? Yeah, I think outline is just gonna be easier, honestly. Oh, I hate when this happens. So these kneaded erasers, they are sort of self-cleaning, so you have to like knead them. But sometimes, I don't know, this is super old, so probably could stand to get a new one, but sometimes if you don't know how dirty the eraser is, it leaves these ugly eraser marks. Not a big fan, but I love that you don't have to deal with eraser crumbs, so. And you can give this a really, like, shape it to what you need, so just kind of useful that way. But yeah, let's just outline. This is Hudson, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned his name, which is such a cute name for a dog, I think. It's a very cute name. Then go around here for his nose. Make that black. I think I actually kind of captured, there's a little bit of young mischief in this dog. I think that comes across quite well for not having photo reference. But, you know, I mean, on the one hand, sometimes it's a little difficult to draw things without reference. And again, some of that I combat by just not making him look very realistically. And then it is interesting, though, one, to just challenge your memory of what things look like vis-a-vis his fur colorings and markings. But then sometimes it's also surprising because the things that you do remember are so iconic and you're free to be, there's almost like a essence of the personality that comes into the drawings like that. That is really fun and might be a little harder to get to when you're looking at a reference, because you're all of a sudden you have a reference and you're just very glued to the details and getting everything just right. And sometimes those kinds of drawings can end up a bit more stiff looking. So, yeah, there's just, gave him a little tag here. So, you know, there's benefits and disadvantages to everything. And then I don't think I'm going to outline where his markings are. I'm just going to go over that with color. And although they are black, I think I'm gonna do more of like a light gray just so that you can still see his eyes. Yeah, okay, let's try some watercolor for that. I don't know, should I letter out Hudson? And then we have lettering for Auntie, lettering for TN updates, and lettering, yeah, why not? Put that here. Also because, who knows, eventually, if, you know, we're not living with them anymore, or next to them, in years to come, I could see myself forgetting what he was called. Oh no, no. And this is why I do it with pencil first, not Hansen. We need a D. That's so annoying, huh? Isn't it, when you go in with pen first and then only to realize that you forgot a letter or switched it all up. There we go. Yeah, okay. We can figure something out for that. These are some more marker or whatever. Okay, well again, Hudson is not going to be too exciting in terms of colors. And where is my water brush? Do I have a water brush? Yes. That's the good thing about everything else outside of the scope of this being in chaos, that there's a good chance that things are close by because they've never been put away. I don't know if you encounter that kind of setup. And then I still have this color left over from something. This is sort of like a almost like a aubergine, I suppose, which you know, as a warm stand-in for black might be nice, and that actually goes well with these kinds of colors. And I do think I'm gonna just lighten those pencil lines. Pencil lines, you can't erase them that well once you put watercolor over top. I don't know if you know that. Maybe that's common knowledge. But I always try to lighten up with pencil lines as much as possible. Yeah, you can still kind of see the eyes, right? And then, yeah, the real question is, what about his ears? I'm pretty sure at least one ear is also dark. And then maybe we can just not go in all the way. And then the other one, I'm not so sure that both of them are black. Again, I can always come in later and add more. His coloring is pretty forgiving in that way. I'm probably pretty sure that there's going to be something on his legs too, and then his tail. Not sure either. Oh, and while we have the watercolor here, let's see about our tiger's eye. Let's remind ourselves. So there's like a, like a golden yellow with some darker things going around it. So maybe we just don't really have anything. Oh, can you see? I think I'm gonna do just some yellow with some of this green, and I'm not too concerned about getting my things dirty. Maybe we need that stronger green here. And then for like a goldish, we can add a little bit of, I think this is raw sienna. Because a goldish color is often like just a dirty green yellow, right? Yep, getting closer there. Yeah. I could just go in with just the yellow first as a base layer. And then also because that's probably good for the gold. And I forgot that this yellow is very, very, what's the word? Covering. It's not very transparent watercolor. So we lost a little bit of the line work there. That's okay. While that dries, move back down to our lettering here. Oh, and then also if we're introducing this gold color, maybe we can do something to mirror that here, to pull that through. Maybe we just do some more sparklies. Sparklies are a good way, right? Again, I want to leave a lot of space there to add some journaling. I need to ask my husband what that restaurant was called. Because I don't remember. My memory is shocking these days, so. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we have, I'll just zoom you back out so we get a full picture of, other than just adding the journaling, what else we want to add. So I think there needs to be something done with the Auntie and something done with the Hudson. Yeah. And with the Auntie, you know, it would be nice to do something dark to again bring in some more contrast. Maybe we can use, oh no, I had some yellow still on the, I'm gonna use that same dark aubergine color, which I now unfortunately added some yellow to. And if you've seen Adri's log, her videos, she does a lot with black speech bubbles and white writing. and it's a really fun way to do lettering. So maybe we can just be inspired by her here and do the same, but I think I might try... I do have a white gel pen, but I'm not too certain how good it'll do right here. So I think I'm just gonna go around the words and just leave them the paper white. I hope this is gonna work out. I've never done this before, but again, a journal is a good place to try that stuff out. And it's a nice way to just come up with ideas because you're just in the moment, working on things. Oh, that's where the paper got broken by the other sticker. That's too bad. I watched this other journaling video the other day. If I can remember which one that was, I'll link it. But it was interesting because that person has been trying out different papers and different setups for journaling, different TN inserts. And she was talking about how different papers, different layouts and sizes of planners, how that influences our journaling, how we might journal it differently based on what we're using as a journal. And I totally think that it does and agree with her in that, and that it is super interesting and fascinating. And for me so far, looking at almost 3 months of being consistent in the Hobonichi Cousin here, and not having been that consistent at all last year. Oh no, I painted over the eye. Okay, we'll have to deal with that. That's what happens if you chat and just paint. I was sharing with her in the comments that I have found that, the layout of the daily pages in the Hobonichi Cousin isn't my favorite. I gotta be honest. I do think that all in all, the Cousin still looks like a planner, which it is. I mean, that's what it was sort of invented for, right? Sort of a life book. So I don't necessarily think the pages are pretty. Like, for example, this gray stuff over here, not pretty. However, there is something of me feeling that the pages are, quote unquote, slightly ugly that really makes me feel very free. And I do try more stuff out, and I just approach the page with less intimidation, I would say, which obviously is good. So yeah, kind of interesting. How do you feel about that? Have you noticed that you journal differently based on what you journal in or on, and whether or not you feel like it's the ultimate, most prettiest book? Or can you be free from that? I mean, it's all just perception, right? I mean, for example, like the Midori notebooks are obviously way cheaper than this, and I love the cream paper, but I think I would be a little bit more intimidated by using it as an A5 journal than I am with this. So that's kind of interesting. Like, I perceive it as more pristine, even though in terms of what you have to pay to get the book, it is less. Yeah. Anyway, that's your journaling thought and journaling question for the week, I guess. Something to ponder. Oh, and I think I want to underline that with that same color. But I think we've gotten... Whoops, sorry, I hope that wasn't too loud. Oh no, I mixed that nice... We're not done with the watercolor. We have our little charm still. Yeah, I'm gonna add some color for that real quick, and then I think I'm gonna add the journaling off camera. Oh, that's actually not dark enough. I gotta add some more brown to that. And I might have to let that dry more to build that up. Okay, that might be a thing that I'll just show you once it's dry. Yeah, okay. I think I'll be right back to show you the thing with filled in text everywhere. All right, I filled in all the journaling, and I think the spaces that I had left myself for the writing really turned out to be pitch perfect, which is kind of amazing. That's kind of satisfying when that happens. The ink that I used, in case you're curious, is Lennon Toolbar Ghost Plant. It's this really soft green, but it's still super legible, I think. I have it in a Lamy Safari with an F nib. So this is a pretty juicy pen, so, you know, maybe this ink would be very light in a crisp fine, but yeah, I really like it, especially now for the spring. It's really good. And then on here, I just used pencil. I kind of like how that looked, really soft right there. And yeah, I went in with a gel pen or the Uniball Signo. I don't know if that is sort of classified as a gel pen, to draw my eye back in. It's not fully like white. The pen wants to skip, but you know, it is there. So there's that. But yeah, I think it's really, really cute. Now the only other sort of thing I would think to do is to take one more look at my beloved flower stickers, and to just, you know what, let's just take this one right here. This is an easy color palette to find flower stickers for, of course, with the greens and the pink. And then do we have something that could go up here? Maybe this one can like arch like that. I love when flower stickers have a little bit of curvature to them, because it kind of is a nice frame that you can add. And then I kind of always, or not always, I kind of feel drawn to this white. Could add that here, but I don't know. Yeah, not sure. I think maybe we're good. Yeah, maybe we're good. I could potentially add something here, but then it starts to get, it's sort of like, there's a flower in every corner, which I don't know. I mean, that can be cute, to sort of like frame it. And here it would be cute too, but I put one over there already too, so I don't know. Even though I think, hold on, just spotted this one. That would be really cute. Ah, yes, come on. Let's just put it there. Doesn't matter. Yeah. And then I do have a small light blue one. Maybe we do a flower and oh well, this is not the there's no one in the corner right there. Maybe just here, and they're just stacked like that. Yeah, why not? Cute. Okay, I think that's enough. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this turned out. I did not think I would have enough to actually fill the pages, but that is something that keeps happening to me, that I think I have nothing to journal about, and once I start, I do find things to fill the paper with. Yeah. Which is another great thing about the daily pages, because yeah, it just makes me journal more and makes me realize that I have things to journal about. Yeah. Anywho, I hope you had a great journaling session as well, that I was able to keep you company. I'm always so happy to read your comments and engage in conversations. It just, yeah, means the world to me that we can get together in this way and connect in this way. That's the great thing about the internet, isn't it? Alrighty. Thanks so much for sharing this time with me. Until next time, happy journaling!